I think all the candidates are they're good, and I think any one of them would be provided more of that. It's just my number one overall pick.
Yeah, I'm also interested in somebody that also has kids in the school district, has been involved with the school on many levels as far as volunteering, has a passion for being involved with the school in aspects of PTSO, coaching, somebody that's got boots on the ground, and somebody that's going to come in without an agenda and has got an open mind, quick learner, somebody that's got a good grip on what current events are, and can walk in here without having any preconceived notion of what they want to do. So you're making a motion for Charlene?
Yeah.
Do you have a motion for a different candidate?
I would like to nominate George Wilson because he has an extensive history background of that historical information and his knowledge of other schools around the country and around the world. It was really great too. And also we've had the question, you don't have an administrator or a former teacher on there. He was a former teacher. He was a former administrator. He let us know at the teachers union. He was on like the first part of the first negotiating team way back then. So he has that history of knowledge of the district's changing over the year since he's been so invested into the history of it. That's who I was impressed with, just because of I'm a person always looking for mentor and knowledge and going, hey, can I tap into that? Can you tell me more about it? And because he knew so much about that administration part of it and the teacher part of it and the diversity part of it, and his that's where I was leaning for him on that side.
Okay, what I was paying attention to was were the answers, and what I found was that I would agree with Jamie that Charlene's answers were on point and comprehensive for all of the different questions that we had. And I appreciated, I was also paying attention to the experience that the two guys who would probably be older than me that came on board would bring, and the business perspective of a younger person. And Judy, we served with her before, and she does have an interest in doing liaison work, or attending all the things. I know that the teachers would like us to have somebody that shows up at the schools. We all have day jobs pretty much, and so that kind of gets in the way. But in terms of just a comprehensive awareness of what the board does and how boards work, she works for a board. I was inclined to think that Charlene met my criteria.
Can I comment again? Will they actually stop me, huh? Isn't that what we always do?
It's a closed conversation.
Oh, okay. I'll hold it then.
So I make a nomination for Charlene, I'm sorry, and this one for George.
I don't have a nomination.
He's the tiebreaker then, I guess, huh?
Yes, yeah. So then, I don't think, do we have to have seconds?
No, we're just bringing up
We have to just get a majority.
just to get majority on
Okay.
I think we should just vote.
the vote for any other candidates.
No other candidates being brought forward? All right, let's vote.
President to go.
It's not like we do this every day.
No. I'm going to abstain.
Can you do that when there's only 4 of you?
Oh, yeah.
Fine, Frank, I'll vote for you. Just kidding.
Okay, all in favor of George Olson?
Aye.
All in favor of Charlene?
Aye.
You got a winner.
I would just like to say thank you to all, everybody that applied, we appreciate it, and I hope that you guys all do put your name in the hat in November, so that the public and the community can vote on you and do that. So thank you guys all, and thank you for the time that you gave us, the dedication to applying.
And I would echo that. I enjoy hearing as much as I could from everybody else, and I hope I do all of them proud. So thank you very much.
Now, I guess we have to do a motion and whatever, so I move to, appoint Charlie Mazie as the new board member.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? Okay. Let's move on to the next item. All right, the next item is the elimination of instructional assistant position, after-school program, Trustee Maxwell. Colleen?
So this is a request administration to eliminate this position due to lack of funds for the after-school program at Best Maxwell. It is currently a vacant position, and CSBA was properly notified and had the right to bargain the effects of this, and we have a current MOU agreement with them to bargaining the effects, and they are fine with releasing the position as well. So we are requesting that you take action to release and eliminate this position from West Maxwell School.
Any questions?
So just the person, the individuals, there's this person, that's sorry.
It's a vacant position.
Sorry, position. Thanks. I'll make a motion to eliminate IAASD position.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All right, this is a monitor, we need to call this one. Linda? Linda? We need, well, it's monitored. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, the next one is the CSBA Delegate Assembly Election Sub-Region 1. What I'm looking for a volunteer. Angela, you said you showed some interest?
I looked at our schedule and I said I would be very interested in representing a region, not just Delaware, but also they also have a voice.
Well, I think you can only do Region 1.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe
I want to make sure I'm reaching out to people. Let's put it that way. Because I'm very saddened that they're not.
I know it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
find somebody, so.
So I was like, I want to reach out to them and make sure that they were out, but I am very interested
Okay.
this year.
Basically, what this consists of is, there are 21 regions, and they have delegates, and there's about 500 delegates that represent the entire state. And twice a year, is that twice a year or once a year? Twice a year? Go to Sacramento
Twice a year,
or
yeah.
San Diego, and these are all school board members that come together and they take educational, like take classes for the Brown Act, take classes in LCAT, take classes on all kinds of things, discuss, and
Well, we're also,
vote on things that brings it to the governor's office. And it's actually, what it is the CSBA kind of has the governor's ear, and they present a lot of suggestions, opinions, recommendations, because all the board members get together there and they voice their opinions, what their needs are, how to do getting bonds in the measure bonds, like Prop 13 that's out there. That's, they were a big part of that. Another measure bond that we were trying to get was the full and fair funding bond. So they get really involved with the legislatures and also the governor's ear, so it's a very important position. There's a lot that, it's pretty influential. So, you're in, right?
Okay, I'll make a motion to, make Angela Brino a write-in candidate for 2020 CSBA delegate, assembly separate in 1-8.
Great.
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great.
Can I ask a question? Is this for the district or the county?
This is for the district.
Okay, for some reason I am listed as the delegate for both county and district. Okay, well, we'll sort that out. And so I was wondering, is this a new position? Or who was in this position?
This is Lisa Oliver, Syracuse City Schools.
Okay, so she's not doing this.
She's not
Okay, all right, I get it.
Okay, it's too late.
Yeah, no,
All right, the next, 18D is gonna be authorized request for proposal for municipal lease financing, Mr. Napier.
Okay, so you heard the presentation tonight on the HVAC and electrical systems upgrade for efficiency. The board has already approved the 1.25 million of the GEO bond. Obviously, this contract is about double that, and so we would need to find another $1.5 million if we were going to go through with this. One of the options that we would have would be a municipal lease like we did with the infrastructure upgrade that we did. If we are considering possibly doing that, I'd like to be able to go out with an RFP so I can get quotes from different people who offer municipal leases. So then we can take a look and see who would give us the best financing options in terms of interest rates, timelines, early payoffs, something like that. What I'd like to do is then come back to the board with options of possibly using a municipal lease, possibly some other options to pay for that project, if we can get a study session scheduled between now and the next board meeting for the budget and also go over that kind of stuff. All this would be doing now is allowing me to put out an RFP asking for quotes. It wouldn't obligate us to do anything other than we could make some informed decisions if we decided we did want to use Climate Tech to do the HVAC project and use a leasing for that to help pay for that.
Any questions?
I'm trying to understand. Municipal lease financing.
So schools can't, public entities can't take loans,
Uh-huh.
so it's essentially a loan, but it's considered a municipal lease. It's for government agencies. So if we were looking, if we have to come up with another $1.5 million to do that HVAC and electrical efficiency upgrade for those 5 schools and district-wide for some of that other stuff, this would be a way that we could borrow money and then pay it off over time. It's a lease though.
How does it differ from a loan?
In actuality, it really doesn't. How it differs is the legality of how it's done. They technically own the equipment until the last payment is made.
And I've always thought of municipal in terms of city or town.
It's municipal for a government agency. That's what they are called, municipal leases.
Okay, all right.
So again, this doesn't lock us into anything. The board, I'm not pressuring the board to make any decisions on whether we're going to go through with that program or not. I just want to be able to give the board the information and with rates and stuff, if we decided we did want to do that, what it would cost us.
And when are you thinking about doing a study session?
Well, that'll be on the next part when we talk about scheduling one for future meetings. I would like to do a study session with the board regarding the budget, and have this on that study session also prior to March 12th. We could do that the week of March 12th, but before the board meeting on March 12th.
So
Before the board meeting, until March 12th?
well,
I was just kind of asking because I don't know if I want to agree to go out for a request for proposal without seeing the budget and the numbers, knowing that we're going into deficit spending already.
Right.
I mean, I think that's,
Yeah,
I think we need to look at that first.
considering that's also only covering like 75 of the HVAC, and we still have to.
Right,
I mean-
we're gonna have other things.
It just scares me to pull out lease after lease after lease when I've seen districts who have done that,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
they're like belly up.
But getting the request for proposals isn't, we're not signing these.
Right.
What we're doing is saying, how much would,
We're just
look
collecting
at it and see,
information.
how much would it cost? The estimate right now is if you did 15-year, at what the current rates are, it would be about $110,000 to $120,000 a year. We wouldn't know until we actually saw what the terms are.
So what you're looking for here is a motion to authorize the request of the RFP.
Correct. That I can just send out to the lenders saying, hey, we're looking for financing for this, what would you offer us?
What kind of lenders get involved in this kind of thing?
Key Finance, Union Bank, School Capital, I have a list of people who specialize in municipal lending.
How would this affect our ability to go out for bonds if we incur this debt?
It shouldn't.
Shouldn't.
So you wanna do it after, you do the study session first, and
Personally, I don't have a problem with, since we're not.
there's no commitment, there's no cost.
Yeah, my hope was that at the study session, I could have some numbers for you.
I think I would be okay with that, as long as there's no commitment or anything. We'll be better informed when we do have that meeting.
Yeah, that's my thinking.
All right.
I'll make a motion to authorize request for proposal for municipal lease financing.
Second. Think you want to be better informed?
I want to know the numbers first, but then we can say go out for request for proposal at the next meeting. That's my
Well, there's
take on
nothing,
it.
there's no cost on something, it's not.
I know, but it gives the implication that we're already agreeing to it.
Is there a deadline here?
It
Do we
gives the
need to have this by a certain
Well,
date?
I think Climate Tech is gonna be on March 12th meeting. Is that correct, Steve?
Yes, for Climate Tech to be able to hit the deadline of doing the HVAC and this whole project this summer, they would need to know March 12th. Otherwise, they won't have the time to do it. We'll have to do it the following summer.
What's left on the internet upgrade? How much do
2.1.
we owe on that?
2.1.
2.1 million?
2.13. 3 payments of 710.
So as I understand it, this is to collect the information upon which we would base it.
Right, well, I'd like to bring to you guys options on what we could possibly do. Part of it might include lease, part of it might be doing something else. May not even be using Climate Tech, maybe doing something different.
Is there pressure to make a decision by March 12th though, if that's when they have to have it approved by, to meet the deadlines?
In order to get it done over the summer is my understanding.
Correct. But there's no pressure. The board can do as they please. It's at the pleasure of the board. It's just a matter of like what you were saying, Don, it's just collecting information so that Jamie, he can give you that information that you're looking for at these study sessions.
Right, and I completely understand that, but it gives the perception to people that we've already agreed, and we're going out for a request for proposal for money to do this, when we haven't even looked at the numbers to see if we have money to do it. So, I mean, normally we would see if you had the money, and then go for a request for proposal to get financing, you know?
Could I-
And I know we don't have the money to do it, so that's why we're looking at a lease anyways, but
Could I modify my, I'm gonna
try to sway
try to
you another way.
sway you. I'm gonna I'll modify my motion to authorize request for proposal that we collect information which will enable us to make a decision about lease financing, municipal lease financing.
But don't get quotes.
But,
Or get quotes.
so, yeah, get quotes.
Okay.
Make it closer? Warmer?
It's the same thing, no matter which way.
Well, with that, but with the proviso that we are not committing, with the proviso that we are not committing any
Well,
expenditures.
that's what
Oh, right.
RFP is, a request for proposal.
Correct.
Well, I agree that it does have an implication if you're gonna do something, but,
Is there a second?
My frustration with this, and not against you, Steve or Jeff, but it's we come against these deadlines and have to make a rush decision.
Absolutely.
And now we need a decision by March 12th. We haven't even studied, or scheduled a study
Well,
session.
No, you
know
don't
what I
have to
mean?
have, you don't have to have a decision by March 12th. That's tentatively scheduled. If the board doesn't want to do it on March 12th, then we don't. And if we don't do it this summer, we don't do it this summer. Maybe we look to next summer. That's there, it's,
Right, but I guess, I mean, I don't know where the dates come in line or how you back into these dates, but maybe sooner notice, you know, or this report tonight, 2 or 3 meetings ago, so we have time to talk.
Jamie, you're absolutely right. I've been working for 4 months since September, actually before that, when we thought about doing this as an energy project. So it took me time to explore and write the RFP, and then I put it out on September. It takes a certain amount of time, I think it was 6 weeks or 8 weeks to put it out there, post it, let people respond, and then hire it. And it just happened that it came across the deadline. But let me also say, like Mr. Napier was saying, you know, there's actually 3 options. One is the climate tech option, one is to do nothing at all, and the other is to not do climate tech and just, I'll take the HVAC for the 5 schools out separately, and we could do that for the $1.25 million, and we can still do that this summer. So that's another option. So I think Mr. Napier was just trying to have that other information so that you could make the best choice of the 3 options.
And I completely understand that, but I want to see the numbers, I want to see the budget.
Sure.
For
Why don't we
deficit
just
spending and.
table this then we'll have the study session.
that's fine.
My
We'll
opinion.
do that. Well,
Let's do that.
Yeah, at study session, you guys can tell me if you want me to go out.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay,
All right, let's, you want to make the motion, please?
draw my motion.
Okay. So 18E, board authorization to use $50,000 of Measure A Gold Bond to fund Persephone Corvid Rose. Mr. Morgan?
Good evening. You said that so well. Do I need to say it again? So anyway, I'm here this evening to ask the board to authorize the district to use $50,000 of Go Bond Measure A Go Bond funds to do one small improvement, one small but important improvement at Crescent Elk Auditorium. And before I tell you what that improvement is, I want to give you a little background. So most of you have heard of or know Nick and Lisa Rail. They donated $70,000 to the music department here, I don't know, a couple board meetings ago, and to buy instruments. Well, Nick and Lisa were talking with Superintendent Harris, I don't know, several weeks ago, a month ago, and they said they'd like to donate up to $50,000 to put new stage lighting at Crescent Elk Auditorium. And so when they graciously made that offer, they also asked Superintendent Harris if there was something we could do if we could paint the walls. And so anyway, Superintendent Harris and I and Assistant Superintendent Napier have been talking about it. And so this $50,000, what it would do is 2 things. One is it won't paint all the walls, and it won't do the floors, it won't do the carpet, it won't do the seats, but it'll just do the wainscoting in the auditorium with FRL, which is fiberglass reinforced laminate. They use this at high schools and hallways. It's really bulletproof. If you go to the Crescent Elk Auditorium, you can see where people have, used knives to dig into the plaster there. It's been scraped, and at one time someone painted it and didn't use the proper procedures to do that, or the proper paint, so it all peeled off. So anyway, I've got a bid of almost $38,000 to do the wainscoting. The other portion of that $50,000 is Superintendent Harris and Assistant Superintendent Napier had a really good idea. Well, if we're going to spend any money there at all, let's have the architect help us understand what the colors and what the materials are going to be for the whole thing. If, in fact, at some point in time, we do another phase of it, or as I think as you know, I'm hopeful that if local bond passes, that perhaps we can spend $1 million on Crescent Elk Auditorium. And really, bring it back to life. But that's, who knows whether that'll happen or not. But regardless, moving forward, we need to have some kind of plan. So to have the architect start those plans with us, they wouldn't plan the whole $1 million project. They would just get us some of the basic things like colors and materials, and they will also help us with the lighting. Their engineer will help us make sure that we get the right lighting. I don't think we have to go to DSA for it because there's already lighting there, so it's just replacing light for light. We want to, so that's what we want to use the money for. To put wainscoting up this summer and to have the architect. We've already scheduled a meeting with Nick and Lisa Rail and some others, Wild Rivers that he wanted there. Our local electrical contractor, the PBK, our architect, and the end users, Dan Sedgwick, Sarah, which Sarah is Rogers, thank you, and Katie Pena. Anyway, that's what we want to use the money for, to have the architect help us choose color.
I have a lot of years invested in Crescent Elk. I was a founding member of LRT back in 1978. I've done 30 shows at least in that auditorium. We had a great reciprocal relationship with the district for a number of years until Mr. Harris came on board, and Mr. Napier and Mr. Harris ruined that relationship with LRT. LRT invested tens of thousands of dollars for the best lighting you could have in a theater, and sound. And we had it all going. They paid for all the curtains, and they would keep up with that when kids demolished it. To think that we are going to take walls and put fiberglass, and the only performing art center in our whole county is ridiculous. The integrity of that building is beautiful, and to stick fiberglass on those walls would be ridiculous. $50,000 is not enough. I agree with you, Steve. It needs to be more. If Nick Rail is going to put in how much?
Up to $50,000.
Up to $50,000. I think the gold bond funding for the only performing arts center in Del Norte County should be increased to show that we care something about the performing arts in Del Norte County. Go to the school, go to the high school. It's a joke, absolute joke, that multipurpose room stage. And to think that we're going to spend $35,000 to $50,000 on walls, that is not going to help out anything. There are 14 broken seats in there. We need to invest and to make sure that the people coming into there aren't going to get hurt when they sit down. Those seats are 90 years old. Or is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that say about our county? Well, we can't even invest in that. That is a joke. We need to do better than that. And there are paints and there are things all it needed was an oil-based primer and a paint put on it.
Yeah, just.
And maybe some supervision. Rainy days, those students are allowed on that stage, in that auditorium. Ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a performing arts, the only performing arts center in our county. We need to do better than that. Fiberglass walls. It's going to look like crap.
How does the fiberglass affect the acoustics of it?
Or the carving. Yeah.
If it's a performing arts room, you need to take into consideration the acoustics.
And I think when we look at the function of a room, I've personally, broken 2 of the chairs. Just at our back to school meetings, 2 of them have broken, both after I stood up, but I did take it personally. So if we're just looking at the function of that room, you can't even sit in there comfortably and safely. And we're gonna spend that much money and $14,000 on picking colors. I don't know, I think.
It was $9,000.
Oh, sorry, $9,000.
Working with the people that want the lights, you have to have an engineer.
You don't. You go to a performing arts center and you look what they have.
Does
Go to
that
Ashland, LRT has done all this research, they've done all of this. Reach out to the people that know. George, you
I
know.
would just like to echo Marshall's comments. All 4 of my sons have been in LRT as well as I have as well. And dates right back to the same time that Marshall was talking about. My oldest son and Marshall were together as primary members of LRT in its beginning. And each of my 4 sons has been in productions as well. I have been in many productions, and yes, I was sadly disappointed when I came back and found that LRT was not in personnel using that facility anymore.
And why was that? Why was that? Because they were gonna start charging LRT an exorbitant amount of money to be in there. My shows had 50 to 60, over 120 people involved from the community. Mostly kids. I did kids shows. I did Wizard of Oz twice. I did Andy twice. Peter Pan. We flew Peter Pan in that auditorium. Where is that now?
Wizard of Oz.
Where is our performing arts? Where's the theater in Delaware County now? 0. We don't even have a theater arts teacher anymore. It's sad. It's my passion, as you can see, and it's no longer happening. That would be a mistake.
Well, I agree that definitely put a lot more money into that theater. At this point, I think probably should sit on this for we get a little more information and maybe get some more money and
Sure,
probably come up with more money.
okay,
Sounds good?
yeah.
Because that place does need a good paint job.
Well, it needs a whole lot more than
I
that.
know it does.
So,
I know.
my question's for more information because 50,000 would seem very low to improve this. My first question was fiberglass, if you're hiring an architect to look at the structure of what to build a theater, fiberglass doesn't sound like a good sound thing for a theater in there. So, I'm just like, I was just researching and I was like, I don't think that's really used in performing arts centers because of the way the sound will reflect in there, and that's not even just for performing arts, but just for having a back to school night in there and just how the sound would carry. I understand the need for having a lighting engineer, not just a regular building engineer, but an actual lighting engineer to talk about lights for a theater. Like if we're going to put new lights in there, let's do it right. Let's make it so that it is for performances. Let's make sure that we have it, that we're doing it right. That when we don't have who owns the lights. That's
Bob Cochran has 35 years experience in lighting.
so like, you think, because we do know that he wants to use local people, so we do have a knowledge base of local people with lighting.
Correct, that's why I'm bringing the local electrician,
Right.
electrical contractor.
Well, is the local electrician contractor, can he do theater lights? Because
Yes,
theater
he's
lights
done
are-
theater lights,
Different.
he's done generators for us, he's done fire alarm systems for us, he's
Well, I
done
know he can
numerous
install
electrical
them.
projects
I know he
for
can
us.
install them, but if when we talk about an engineer, lighting engineer, there's.
No, he's not a lighting engineer, that's why I
Right.
wanted to utilize PBK Architects, our architectural firm.
Well, I'm just saying, let's look at local resources first, that maybe we can do it at a lot cheaper price than that. If we're going to hire an engineer to do that area, let's do it right, even if it is just planning it out for a future dream. RT theater, I'll go there. But if we have to invest in it and use our Measure A bond money, we need to also show to our citizen oversight committee and to the community that we're doing this correctly and we're doing it right. We're not just putting a patch on a wall. I'm gonna say it there. They're digging into holes, they're digging into, I understand you don't want to keep digging into the holes of a 100-year-old building, but there has to be something that's going to be good for the theater, that's good for the aesthetics of it, that's good for everyday school use. What are other places using? Let's do some research on it. Make it, even if it's a pipe dream or a dream that if we do go out for a local bond, this could be that dream, that driving factor for that local bond of let's put the money in to make a better theater. That would be more attractive to a voter than fixing it.
All right, let's figure out how to come up with more money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask a
Thank you,
question?
Steve.
Sure.
Just briefly.
Yes.
When he was stating that he was going to contribute up to this amount.
Uh-huh,
Was that contingent upon this use?
no,
No, he said he just wanted fifty
No.
thousand to.
no, he was gonna do it regardless,
Okay, all right.
he was gonna do it regardless.
So I was gonna ask if it was a match, but yeah, 'cause isn't, 50,000 for lights, that just seems a little low. for
I don't
new
know, I'm not familiar with stage lighting, I don't know if it's a little low or not.
So that's it, yeah, so let's get some more information on stage lighting, how much the pricing, how much would it be for Access Theater, how much, let's look at, I'm so sorry, Steve.
Okay.
All right, thank you,
All right,
Steve.
you're welcome.
All right, discussion planning for future, other business? Board agenda planning, who's that? Discussion planning. March, you said?
Yes.
You could do it,